show. There is bound to be some good times had by those who remember what Mama said. Mama said is the name of the game. And what Mama says is what Mama gets from the SFP studios. Mama is right and always right. We hold our flags high as we march to the tune of her music. Because Mama said is the name of the game. On Monday nights, sure we know what to do and what to say, because we love our mamas, and that's the fact, Jack. Mama said is the name of the game, and what Mama says is what Mama gets from the SFP studios. Mama is right and always right. We hold our flags high as we march to the tune of her music. Because Mama said is the name of the game. Mama said is the name of the game. And what Mama says is what Mama gets from the SFP studios. Mama is right and always right. We hold our flags high as we march to the tune of her music. Because Mama said is the name of the game.
And we are live, me and Miss Elizabeth on Mama Said. I was just trying to get our, if I'm moving these around, I usually leave this to Rob, but I'm usually on by myself, except for the radio. So if I have to, there we are. I was trying to get us where we were kind of, I always forget which one it is because I don't do it all the time. Dave in the AM here with you. There's a lot to kind of unpack here at the beginning of the show. And then we're going to talk about best and worst vacations because Miss Elizabeth's going to be going on a vacation soon. And we were talking about that before. She is doing that nightmare commute across Atlanta, which is never fun. So she will arrive sometime during the show, I'm sure. If she doesn't, we're in trouble. Something's happened. Hello, Perry.
I haven't even made it to the interstate yet. I'm still going down 411.
Oh, wow. So y'all pray for her as she traverses the crazy Atlanta.
Yes. I left a little late today. So listen, 411 has some dead spots. So if I lose y'all, I will come back in. I promise.
Not a problem. We understand. Robert will not be with us tonight unless he so chooses. He is coming back from Florida, and he is dealing with back spasms really bad from playing in swimming with the fishes. We'll say it that way, but not the Jersey Shore kind of way, but the Robert Redneck Riviera way, swimming with the fishes. But it's almost like he almost went swimming with the fishes because he called me. He says, I'm in bad shape. So we're going to have an intervention, I think, for Rob to make sure he understands he's not he's not 20 anymore. So hello, Dog Tag. Dog Tag, if you'd like an invite, I can make that happen. Hello, Miss Jennifer. It is, and we had planned on having a 1-year celebration, which is today, for the podcast. We're going to move that to Wednesday so Rob can be a part. And we'll have, if anybody wants to come up and celebrate with us, we're just going to have a fun time Wednesday night on the Hump Day Views, and we'll celebrate then. So a little bit of moving around. Also, tonight, we are streaming on a new stream. And let me get Dog Tag's invite real quick.
Sure.
And Miss Elizabeth is celebrating that she's only got like 3 days left in the school, year and career, maybe, at least where she's at now. So let me get this sent. I have to think about what I'm doing when I don't have Rob here in the studio. I think I've still got your stuff, brother. We pull it over and make sure, because we got to get an update from Dog Tag.
Yes,
out there
do.
On the AT. He said he wants to share his view. Apparently, he's got a really nice view going on. So let me find him here. There we go. I see him. Let's see here. Hang on a second. Things are acting strange, but I think I about got it. All right. Dog Tag, it is coming your way. So when you got it, you got it. We'll get you up. Thank you, Barry, for the donation to Dog Tag, the $22. That's the penny a mile, the 2,200 miles. For those that don't know, Dog Tag is on the Appalachian Trail, and he is raising awareness for veteran, first responders, firemen, et cetera, suicides. So he will give you an update. I don't want to give an update on what he's doing because he can do that much better than I can. So lots going on. Now, we are streaming, and I look, it's still there. We're streaming on a new stream tonight through the Rumble channel. We're on Telegram tonight. We've had a Telegram channel for some time, but we kind of we don't have a lot of followers on Telegram, but it's a great platform. And I've sort of played with it, didn't do much with it, then played with it again. And finally, I said last week I was going to get serious with it again and get that built up. And I didn't realize that I could stream live there for it. So we own about, I think, 13 different streams tonight or something. So we'll hope everything holds. Hopefully, we can hold it in between the ditches, and especially Miss Elizabeth. She's got to hold it in between the ditches and be safe out there. And there's Dog Tag. Let's bring him up. What is going on, my brother?
Hey, I want to flip my camera around real quick. I want you to see the view that I've got tonight from my tent. So.
Oh, that is nice. That's absolutely nice. Where are you at, brother?
I am in Virginia, and the river below me is the James River. Tomorrow I will cross the James River. So
famous. Such history there, the James River.
Oh, yeah.
During the war between the states, the James River was absolutely crucial for getting goods and supplies and stuff up and down. There was a lot of movement across and back across the James River. Miss Elizabeth will be back in. She's traveling. She said she might drop. She'll come back in. But absolutely cool, man. What's been going on with you, man? How's the weather been for you?
Well, I'm up here. It rained last night on me, but it's supposed to rain an inch tomorrow. So.
Oh wow.
So I'm up here. The next shelter was about 2 miles down the mountain from where I'm at, and it was just a lot of rocks and a lot of switchbacks. And I just decided, you know what? I've got a beautiful view. I've got a great signal, and I'll see if I can check in with the podcast because if I'd have gone to the shelter, I wouldn't have had a signal. So
yeah.
So I decided to stay up here on the ridge, and where I've got a great view and a good signal.
Awesome, man. So a lot of our folks know you. We probably have some new folks that's in the stream. How about giving, again, a synopsis of what you're doing?
Well, dog tag is my trail name. I am hiking the Appalachian Trail from Georgia to Maine. It is 2,200 miles. And in the process, I am carrying dog tags on my backpack. And I guess I should have had my backpack out here, but I threw it in my tent. But I carry dog tags in honor of veteran and first responders who have committed suicide. And I've just recently, when I went home for my med treatment this past week, I added another dog tag. This one was for a Marine who was working for the U.S. Border Patrol and committed suicide.
Oh.
So I ran into a guy on the trail who knew him, who used to work for the Border Patrol, and so he sent me the information. And people are still. I still occasionally get names. There's one that's coming for a police detective that when I went to Trail Days last week, not this past weekend, but the weekend before, I met a guy there who had done trail magic on the trail, and I gave him one of my little black dog tags. And when he went home and he watched my videos and realized what I was doing, and then he saw me at Trail Days, and I guess a guy that had retired from the police department hiked the Appalachian Trail, and then shortly after finishing the Appalachian Trail committed suicide.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be getting his information, and he will be added as well to my carry. So
that's
and the fundraising, I'm asking for a penny a mile for each mile I walk. I'm currently at just over 700 miles. You can give a penny or you can give as much as you want. I've had people give more. The money will be split up amongst 4 groups at the end of the hike, and we will give a fourth to each one of those organizations.
Let me pop that up real quick. There is let me stop that scroll as well. There is your QR code. And folks, you can go there, and that is the campaign. And there are the dog tags. And look how much weight that Mr. Dog Tag has lost since those pictures.
Yeah.
I mean, you look good there, brother, but you've lost some weight.
Well, I need to tell you, when my sister went to pick me up last week to take me for my med infusion, she said she almost drove by because she did not recognize me. She thought I was somebody else.
Wow.
So I've lost, since I've been on the trail, I've lost 45 pounds.
Amazing.
So,
well, you said when you started that they told you it was a great weight loss. I mean, you would lose weight,
Oh yeah. And I'm sure when I see my primary doctor in October, when I come back, he may not even recognize me. So, but I tell you, I've looked at some of my older pictures and I can really see it in my face where I've lost weight. This is my new hat. I'm going to a summer hat because my ears were getting burnt. And when I went to Trail Days, there was a doctor at the thing, and he noticed that my ears were a little bit red. And he goes, you should really wear a hat that's broad rimmed. And so I went and got a broad rimmed hat. The first one I got, I didn't like because the back of it kept hitting my backpack and it was just annoying the crud out of me.
Yeah.
So then when I went home to my treatment in Richmond, went to an REI and found just the right hat. So yeah. So, and then this is my new shirt I'm wearing.
I love it. Mountain Dew. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's all.
So it's a long sleeve summer shirt. It's lightweight. It's something I saw on the internet, and I said, man, I got to have one of those. So I ordered it, and it came and when I came home, it was there. So I decided I'm going to start wearing this.
That's cool, man. With that hat, and you've got this great look, especially now that you have lost some weight. If you had a handlebar mustache, dude, You would look like a Civil War general, man. I swear. You have that look.
Well,
You
I'm
could be
letting it
leading
grow
troops.
out. I'm letting it grow out. I don't know if I'll be able to do the old handlebar thing, but definitely it's grown out a lot. You know, I keep shaving on the sides, but I haven't done much trimming in this area other than around my mouth, because that's the one thing I hate about facial hairs. When I eat, you know, it just seems like the food wants to get caught up in it.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna kind of keep letting it grow, and who knows? We'll see. Maybe I'll try that look.
Well, I love it. When you get to the James River with that hat, man, take a picture. I'd love to have a picture of you at the James River. And just think
Okay.
about all of the historic people that have crossed over that and back across it throughout history, man. That is such Virginia is
It
such a
is.
historical place anyway. I mean,
Well, I mean, just looking out over this valley, you know, when you think about the Civil War period and where they used to march 30 and 40 miles a day
yeah,
between battles, you know, it's just incredible. What I mean, today was one of my longer days. I did 14 miles. I was supposed to do 16 and a half, but I decided to check up short. And but I tell you, you know, you think about what those soldiers used to carry and the terrain they used to have to walk on.
oh, I
I mean,
know.
it's incredible. It's you
I've
know,
done some reenacting. I was actually in a unit for a few years, and when we of course we weren't practiced up, but when you first got back together, we'd do practice sessions, and they would call for stacking of arms, and they would say, "Gentlemen, come on," said the soldiers you're representing. They marched for 55 minutes. They got a 5 minute break. They didn't take time to get. It didn't take them but a split second to get those arms stacked. So you think about that as you go to do that. I mean, think about it. Marching for 55 minutes to get a 5 minute sit down, you're back up and going again. And if you were headed towards a battle and running late, you've been force marched. And so just in
oh
that
yeah,
terrain that you're talking about right there, it's incredible what they went through. I mean, just incredible.
yeah.
But just such a historic area. A lot of that was
Well,
all over.
one of the great. I mean, I don't know if you being a Southerner, you'd probably appreciate this, but my daughter went to VMI, and VMI is the only college that was they used the entire student body. They marched into battle, and they marched from Lexington to New Market, and then when they got to New Market, you know, they basically were these young cadets, and you know, they said, hey, take a seat, we don't need, we're not going to use you. Well, they ended up using them on the initial battle, and they had the field of shoes. When they were running across the field, there was a muddy field, and a lot of them lost their shoes, and I think they ended up losing 9 cadets that day. But when they came back from the battle, all of the soldiers, hip hip parade them, gave them a big, kudos, because they had marched that distance and then went straight into battle. And these
Yeah,
were, college age kids, even younger, some of them. And pretty incredible story. But throughout this whole area, I mean, just the entire walk up the entire journey of the AT, it's incredible to the history that you're running into. Today I went over a mountain called Bluff Mountain, and there's a little plaque up there where a 4-year-old had gotten lost and they left the school, somehow ended up on this mountain 7 miles away. And of course, they ended up later finding the child dead. But there's a plaque up there honoring this child who somehow had ended up on top of this mountain 7 miles from the school. And it's just, you get to, if you take the time and read all the little plaques that are along the trail, and there's history along the trail, and
yeah.
it's just incredible. So,
It's a beautiful area. Of course, that's home for you, Virginia. Now,
well, I don't call it home, but it's where my current residence is.
well,
So,
home is where you lay your head. So right now, home for you is on the 18th. So,
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But
so what?
it's going well. Thank you for bringing me in and letting me be part of this tonight, because I'm sitting here still, I will get a great, as long as the weather holds off until a little bit after 8 or 9 in the morning, I should get a really nice sunrise in the morning. We'll see. But I don't know. If not, I'll wake up to rain again. And, it's the rain has been following me a lot. So there's been a couple days where I've walked in foot deep water for an hour, going down, and the water's been right in the middle of the trail. So it's been pretty incredible.
Barry wants to know if you're seeing any snakes on the trail.
You know what? I saw my first snake last week. It was a 6-foot black, like a rat snake. I don't know. It wasn't a poisonous snake, but it was. I thought it was just a little snake because it had a small head on it. But then it started going across the trail, and next thing I know, this thing is at least 6 feet long.
Oh wow!
And there was a bunch of kids coming up the trail, and I could hear them, so I stayed there just to make sure that they knew that there was a snake in the area. There's a family that I ran into that there's 9 people hiking together, 7 kids and mom and dad.
Wow.
And but they were coming up the trail when I heard them. So I stayed there and watched this snake go across the trail. And, it's really starting to, it's, as you can see from my view here, it's really greened up here in Virginia. And a lot of time I'm walking in waist deep foliage. And sometimes you don't see anything until it pops its head out onto the trail, So, but I did see a snake and several salamanders, the little red newt or whatever.
Yeah.
There's a picture of one in one of my videos that I did. And of course, I think I mentioned I saw my first bear a couple weeks ago. This morning, I had a deer cross in front of me a couple times. I was going up a switchback and the deer would go up, and then I'd switch back and come the other direction, and the deer would see me again and it would go up further. So starting to see a lot of wildlife. Last week, there was a bear that was on the trail that was becoming a nuisance to a lot of the hikers. So everybody was putting the word out that there was this young bear out there that, that you needed to make sure that you properly hung your food at night.
Oh, yeah.
Because in this area, they don't have bear boxes or bear hangs. So you have to hang your own food up in the trees. So,
yeah, you don't want to become lunch either.
Yeah.
How's the new shoes?
Not at all.
I know you had to get some new shoes here a while back.
I did. It's funny. It's a funny story because I got a brand new pair of shoes and then the toe started to come unglued. So when I went home, I went back to REI where I bought them and I said, hey, I need to exchange these for a new pair of shoes. He goes, well, they no longer make that brand. So that model. So I had to get a different model. And I wear these things around my ankles. They're called gaiters. It keeps the dirt and the brush out of the inside of my shoes. Well, I just bought brand new gaiters when I was at Trail Days that fit the style of shoe that I was wearing. But then the new style that they have a different attachment on the back of the shoe. So when I bought these new shoes, I didn't have gaiters that would fit it. So I had to buy a whole new set of gaiters. And then I went back up and I said, you know what? Can I buy those shoes back from you? Because the only problem I had with it was just the front toe was coming unglued. So I just took them home and re-glued them. So I'm actually still wearing my second pair of shoes, but I have a third pair that's brand new with me and ready to go.
Okay,
so
cool. Awesome. So what's the next big checkpoint that the next few days or a week or so?
It's kind of funny because when I went home and I came back, I actually stopped in the center of Virginia because there's a couple that I've been hiking with that went to Texas to watch their son graduate from high school. And so they're flying back into Richmond. So I wanted to stay close to Richmond. So I'm kind of centrally in Virginia right now, and I'll go pick them up and then bring them back. After we get back, then I'm going to go back south and I will do the Triple Crown of Virginia, which is the Dragon's Tooth, McAfee Knob, which is the most photographed spot on the AT, and then Tinker Cliffs. And so those are going to be the big three things that I will do in the next couple weeks. So
awesome, man. Awesome.
I think I've told you I've done most of the Shenandoahs. So the plan is that I will hike with this couple from where we are here up into the Shenandoahs to the point where I've already done. And then I'm going to drive back down and do the Triple Crown down in that area. So
just a couple of more questions.
Shenandoah National Park is the big part for a lot of people.
I know you got to get in the bed here soon. You know, the trail bed comes early, but
we call it hiker midnight. It's 9 o'clock.
Yeah, hiker midnight. We got to take care of you. But just a couple things. Early on, you took almost, I guess, like a little tumble.
My bedtime.
That's your bedtime.
What she said?
I think that was her bedtime.
Well, she can call it. She can call it Elizabeth midnight now.
Yeah. So you had kind of took a little bit of a tumble down a hill. I think it was your knee.
It was my right knee. As long as I'm wearing my braces, a lot of people give me a hard time because I wear knee braces on both my knees. But I just have to take it slow. And I can't do the 20-30 miles that some of the other hikers are doing right now. My average day is anywhere from 12 to 16 miles. And like today, the section from here down to where James River is, it's a rocky downhill slog. And, when your knees are bothering you, you got to take it slow.
Yeah. And we're still talking about 12 to 16 miles. That's not like it's, a 2-mile little jaunt. I mean, that's a lot, especially with that terrain that you're talking about.
Oh yeah,
that's hard.
And you're carrying a 35-pound pack with your gear.
I mean, brother, we're not 20 anymore. So,
No. And those that may not know, I'm 62.
Bless your heart. Yeah. I just turned 60. And I can't imagine another 2 years what I'll feel like. So.
Well, it's been good. I won't complain. Some days are better than others, but when you get up here and get these beautiful views, it makes it worthwhile. So
yeah. Well, listen, man, we appreciate you so much checking in with us. We're praying for you. We update your story often, even when you're not on. We show your card. We'll pop that up again tonight. Best of wishes to you. Thanks so much for making us a part of your journey, man. And most of all, hopefully something that's being done will make a difference in at least one person's life where they won't take their life. Especially here, you think about Memorial Day, and these people have served their nation, their country, their city, county, whatever. And it's just heartbreaking that they feel like there's no other way. And I hope it makes a difference in at least one person's life. And I believe it will. I do. I believe it'll make a difference.
Well, it's funny because when I write in the shelter journals, one of the things that I always end my write in is make sure you hug a vet or hug a first responder. They sure could use it,
Oh, yeah.
So I would share that as well, that, if you see a first responder or a veteran, walk up and offer a handshake to them and thank them for their service,
Sure.
So they appreciate it. So,
all right. Well, you get some rest. Watch out for the rogue bears out there, the troublemaking bears. We can't have that. And you be safe on the journey, brother. We'll see you soon. Okay.
All right. Well, you tell Rob that I said hello and tell him about my new shirt.
I sure will, man.
He asked me where Bigfoot was, and I saw this shirt, and I said, "Man, I gotta wear this one."
I love it. I love it.
So you tell him I found Bigfoot, and he's now on my shirt. So
you got it, man. You got it.
All right.
I have to know where he got that shirt.
Oh, she wants to know where you got the shirt.
I'll have to look. To be honest with you, it was one of those Facebook ads that popped up on my thing, and it was probably because I had done a search for Bigfoot. You know how they if you mention anything or write anything on your Facebook page, then all of a sudden you start getting these ads. And I will find the company name and I will get it for you. And
thank you.
But
the way I look at it is all these people going out there in the woods looking for Bigfoot, all they had to do was do a search on Facebook.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Hey, real quick, Dave, how's your wife? Is she home? I think I saw a post where you said she was coming home.
She is home. Thanks for asking. She got home Friday in the afternoon. She's got some home health to be coming out working with her on her speech. She's been doing pretty good, but I've had people around her all the time. She did tell me late today that she felt like she was losing her balance, so she sat down. Still something going on. We're not sure what it is, but she's not driving anywhere. We'll drive her in her car, and we have family with her that shops with her and everything. But she's feeling good. Her face is healing up. She had a nice visit today from a longtime pastor friend of ours who came and met with her and prayed with her. And she's happy to be home. She kicked butt in the rehab and said, I'm going home. So that's where she's at. And now she's giving me a hard time. She's got to be feeling better because I'm getting all these things to do. I was like, you're killing me. I mean, like I can't get one thing done. She gave me 10 other things to do. Life is back to normal, man.
Are you wearing a tie today?
I am wearing a tie, brother.
That's not typical of you, is it? I don't think I've ever seen you wear a tie. Do you wear it on the show a lot?
I have never. Well, I have on Sunday morning wore a tie a lot of times. I don't think I have in any other shows. It has really thrown everybody off today, me wearing a tie on the show. But typically in ministry and stuff, I wear ties often, but not at work. We don't wear them in the manufacturing facility. But I am wearing a tie. It threw Jake off real often. What do you got?
You look good.
Well,
all right.
Well, I'm old, man.
I'm going to get in my tent and grab me a quick snack before bed, and then go hang my food up and get warm. So
yeah, there you go.
It's kind of chilly out here tonight, so
All right,
I might even have to pull out my jacket tonight. So.
Uh-oh. You might wake up and that bear might be snuggling with you.
Yeah, exactly. All righty. Well, you guys all be safe, and we'll keep you up to date, and I'll check in with you. And I'm just glad I had a great signal tonight to be able to call.
It's awesome, man. Your sound is great. Show us that view one more time before you go, man.
Here you go.
Beautiful. Oh,
wow.
Look at that. Thank you, Robert. Thank you, Dog Tag. God bless you.
Well, my pleasure. And I'm just glad I could share it with you guys. And thank you again for the opportunity for letting me get on the show and tell everybody about this wonderful journey. So
you got it, brother.
You take care and you be safe and give that wife a hug. Even when she's ornery, she still needs it. So
absolutely. I'm glad to have her home.
All right. Well, you take care. Bye, Miss Elizabeth. Be safe driving in that wonderful city of yours. I don't envy you.
Not much longer.
All righty. Well, you all take care.
All right. Take care, my brother. See you.
All right. Bye-bye.
That's cool. Awesome. Thanks for Dog Tag. Folks, one more time, let me put up his card. And if nothing else, pray for him. You don't have to give. But if you feel like, again, he's not paying for anything out of this money for the trip. He's using his Social Security and other pension money or whatever he's got coming in to do the trip. This is just to give to agencies. There's 4 of them, he said. And he is a rock solid, right down to the earth, good guy. And I count him as a friend. And we had this whole journey started for us by interviewing George Eshelman, which I think I've still got his card in here, for the movie The Keeper. And we interviewed George from Calhoun, Georgia, who the movie's made about. There's Angus, the actor. It's a great movie. If you haven't seen it, you need to watch it. And there's George out on the trail. And if you don't know that story, George went out on the trail to kill himself, but he didn't. And so Robert and George know each other. And we've had George on for an interview. We get Robert in now. And one of these fine days, we're hoping to have George and Robert on at the same time. And by the way, the Keeper is the Appalachian Trail, the AT Trail name for George Eshelman, because he was the keeper of the dog tags. Go watch that movie. It's on Prime. You can find that on Amazon Prime. I bought the movie because it's one that I'm going to watch and continue to watch. So I love the movie, and pray for these men. George's story is really incredible. He has since his wife has passed, and his dog died, but he got a new dog. And if you want to follow a great story, follow George Eshelman on Facebook. His collie has become this Facebook star, I think, for things that he does. So they're good for each other. They really are. And Robert, Dog Tag Diamond, he's adopted several children. This man has a small child at 62, 3, whatever he said. And, he's got a great family behind him, supporting him out on the AT. What a great guy. Thanks. I appreciate him checking in. Awesome. We never know when it's going to happen. It's always just a blessing. We just let him, because we never know what he's got going on. So we don't try to arrange it. It's just a drop in. He has an open invitation to come into any stream, and we'll put him up. And so that's what that was. We're going to take a quick break. We'll give Miss Elizabeth a break she can just enjoy that traffic she's in and wave hello at people as they go by. And have you made it to the interstate yet?
I am, yes.
She's on the interstate. I thought she was cruising there pretty good. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We're going to talk about the best and worst vacations you've ever had. And Miss Elizabeth's going to be going on a vacation not too long at some point. And so we'll be right back. We'll talk about vacations, good and bad. See you in a minute. Hey, Southern Fried fans and your Cornbread Nation. Well, yeah, that's right. We're going to advertise for Mammoth Nation. To all proud Americans, we call attention to these thoughts. Are you tired of woke corporations that don't align with your values? I know we are. Look no further than Mammoth Nation, the ultimate destination for patriots like you and me, and Rob and everybody else, including old crazy Uncle Jeb, who believe in putting America first. Here at the Southern Fried Podcast, we're proud to partner with Mammoth Nation because they share our unwavering commitment to faith, family, and yes, freedom. Just like us, Mammoth Nation believes in the power of the American spirit and the importance of preserving our great nation's heritage. When you join Mammoth Nation, you're not just getting access to amazing discounts on products and services. You're becoming a part of a community that stands against the forces trying to tear our country apart. From supporting veterans and first responders to promoting Christian values, Mammoth Nation is the go-to platform for conservatives who want to make their voices heard. So what are you waiting for? Join the Mammoth Nation movement today and start enjoying exclusive deals from businesses that share your America First values. Together, we can make America great again, one purchase at a time. Don't miss out on this opportunity to support a company that truly cares about our nation's future. Sign up for Mammoth Nation now and experience the difference of a community that puts America first. Use that QR code on the screen, folks, and that will take you right to the website where we also will be helped in your support of these values. We are customers of this great American company. Rob is a monthly supporter, and I am a lifetime member of Mammoth Nation. We're so appreciative of companies like this. Please be a supporter, not just for us, but for America. These companies need our support. We're patriots. Stand together with patriots. Take care, and God bless. This is David the AM with the Southern Fried Podcast. We are now an affiliate of Podbean. Podbean is an audio platform which helps you get your voice out there. You can go online and go live from your very phone that you use. You don't have to have a lot of special equipment. It's nice to have a studio, but it's expensive. You can do those things from your phone. Hey, I was a listener of Podbean before I even became a podcaster. Maybe you've thought about being one. There was a time when I didn't think about being a podcaster, but think about it. You've got things to share. It could be as simple as baking, or it could be working on a car. The stories are endless that you could come up with to be a podcaster. And there are people out there that want to listen and to your stories and to your shows. And we're thankful for all those that watch and listen to us. Podbean is now an affiliate of the Southern Fried Podcast. Unless you're a business plan, that would be the bottom one. The one on top, use that. You'll get discounts, and also the Southern Fried Podcast benefits in this as well. I love Podbean. They also help launch out to many other audio sites. This saves me time. Time is precious. Time to be on the podcast, time for research, time to be with family, and yes, time to work. Yes, we still work out there in the workforce. So become a podcaster. Use Podbean. And when you use these links, one of them, you will save money and you'll also help the Southern Fried Podcast. Thanks so much for all your support. Take care. We'll see you soon. The mics, got to make sure I cut them on. I have two different mics that we are on.
Mine's on.
Most of them are on one mic, but every once in a blue moon, I forget to clear the Rumble Studio mic, and I feel like it's such an idiot when I do that because I am a professional idiot, and I try not to be, but seemingly I find
you are not.
That's what I feel like half the time. Just too much. I've lost too many brain cells sometimes for all the things I have going on. The good news is that our stream looks absolutely wonderful on Telegram. This is the first show we've ever done that. 1 year. Well, thank you, ladies. The first anniversary for our show. We're going to celebrate Wednesday. We're going to have a birthday bash or anniversary bash, whatever you want to call it. The podcast is officially 1 year old. So it's got a lot of growing to do. It's not even went through its toddler years yet. So me and Rob probably have acted like toddlers before. But when I think about, I will just say this, and we're going to talk about vacations. When I think about where we have came from to where we are, and well, thank you, the Angry Conservative. You're awesome. And by the way, let me finish my thought, and then I want to comment on something he said. But I cannot. It's just, it blows my mind. I have to admit, we were so ignorant about everything when we started. I didn't even have any equipment. I used my phone. I had an iPad, but I didn't even have a laptop. And now 1 year later, and I'm sitting in the studio, which I'm still finishing up things, and with all the equipment and everything, and people walk in the studio, we have people that broadcast in here with us, now we have the room for it, where we didn't before. And people go, wow, how long did it take you to do all this? And there's been a lot of people that's helped. Rob has upgraded his stuff, a lot of it. He's continuing to do that because you have to do those things. And we've had everything that could happen because that's just what happens when you broadcast. We've met incredible people like the Angry Conservative there you see on screen from the great state of Alabama. And by the way, I'm so glad that you're going to have Steve on for your interview series. I was extremely honored to do that. Had a blast, had a ball. My gosh, I don't usually cry in front of people. He got me crying, telling a story. Oh my goodness. I try not to do those things, but some things touch my heart so much, and you tell stories. And I think that's the first for the podcast that I actually cried. I've cried off screen many times for how bad I've been on there, but that was an amazing opportunity to do the interview series for the Angry Conservative. If you have Rumble, please make sure you follow these great podcasters, and I mean it. They're friends. They're awesome. They're nothing but helps, encouragement, and their stated goal. Yes, they're podcasters. Yes, they're creating content, but their stated goal is to help others. And you know what? You're all right in my book because I've been on some platforms where everybody was dog eat dog, tearing everybody up, trying to beat each other down. And that's not what we've experienced in our Rumble family. We have found people that are encouraging, helpful, reaching out, and try to help bring us along. And that is such an encouragement in this dog eat dog world that we live in. Thank you, Angry Conservative. He's angry because he was mad about the country. He's not an angry guy. He actually laughs a lot. He's got a great laugh. He likes to keep things light. He has a ball. It's a fun show. All of his shows, the ones he does live, he does some other things. He has amazing people that come on, and some of those people have given us a follow. I can't say enough about them. This guy broadcasts a lot. I mean, a lot. You think we broadcast a lot? Angry Conservative is a lot, and that's awesome. So thank you for coming in. Here he is. He's doing all this podcasting, and he takes the time to come into the chat and let me know that Steve's going to be on. I cannot wait to see that. I got to be honest. Steve at an interview. Oh my gosh, this is going to be great. Part of that interview will be Rumble Premium.
I need to know when that is.
He said that's the 21st of June. I believe that's what he means, the 21st of June. And he usually does those on Saturdays. So correct me if I'm wrong, sir. And part of the interview will be Rumble Premium. So just know that. You'll get about 20, 25 minutes free time. If you're not a premium subscriber, just become one. You're going to like it anyway, and it's not much money, and it helps these podcasters along the way. So I have premium. I think I paid for it about a year. I got it for $9 a month or something. I mean, drop some other thing that you're not using. I bet everybody in the chat probably has something they're paying for every month they never use. They hang on to it like because we're hoarders or something. I don't know what it is about people. They hoard things up, and we do that. We do that with things we pay for every month. I've got one or two out there myself. I keep telling myself I need to drop those. Yeah, you get access and a lot more than him. Yeah, so it's not just his show. You're going to get access, and we're going to be doing some Rumble Premium on our event show. So that's coming up to be debuted in June, the week after Steve's on with us. So we probably should just do it that night, really, with him. But we planned it for the second week of June. God bless you, man. You're awesome. I am not blowing smoke, man. You are cool. I remember the day that you come in the stream, and I thought, hey, I think I know that name. I've seen it out there. But all these folks who are so awesome, and there's so many more. We just got a few of them here, but I was going to put back up the card real quick. I've got it here. Here it is. We just call it our Rumble Friends. Our Rumble Friends. Now our channels are at the top of that card, but Killer Carl, who I was with yesterday in a show, Miss Kim, one of these days we're going to get hooked up together in a show, but I love her from Woodstock, Georgia. She gets you going in the morning. She's on about the same time we are. I go back and watch the reruns as much as I can of that because I miss her. Empty Pockets, been on his podcast about 3 weeks ago. James, great guy. Miss Regina, we did a show together about a month ago from England. Miss Regina, the Dialogue Box. Then our friends here, the Angry Conservative Pipeline Forge live. And Steve is cranking out the lives. I think he did a Sunday live. I watched his Friday night live. He has jumped in with both feet. He is doing lives just about every day now. So cool. All right. I've ran my mouth enough. Best and worst vacations that you've had. Angry Conservative is going to get us kickstarted. He said, I'm on vacation right now because I went home to Ohio. That is why I'm to watch right now. He returns to Alabama tomorrow. Well, he's on vacation, so what timing? Have a safe journey, my friend. Enjoy seeing family.
Nice.
So what is, Miss Elizabeth, have you had a bad vacation before? Have you had?
I have, yes.
What would you say was your bad vacation, and why was it bad?
It would probably be, I think I was around 13 or 14 years old. I went with some friends from church and her family, and we went to Florida, and while I was there, I got sun poison.
Oh, wow.
Really bad, yes, on my face. And like my cheeks swelled out really bad to like my nose, and I mean it was severe. Yes.
Oh, that's horrible. Horrible.
It was. And then I've had a couple of bad vacations.
Uh-oh.
And then when I was in high school, I had a friend go with me, and we went to Disney World one time. I caught strep throat from the swimming pool.
Oh.
Yes. And so we only got to go to Disney one day. Ended up having to go to the walk-in clinic, and we ended up just leaving and coming home.
Oh,
Because
that's
I was
horrible.
miserable.
I didn't know you could
Yeah.
catch it from the pool. I guess touch something that they touched or something.
You can. Yeah, the doctor said it's very common that you can catch it from the pool. If they don't have enough chlorine in the
Oh,
pool
I know
to
that.
kill stuff. Yeah. Yeah, if they don't have enough chemicals in the pool to kill all the bacteria and stuff, you can
Not
catch it.
good. Not
Yeah,
good.
exactly.
Well, that's horrible. Well, one time, and since you mentioned that, it kind of brought to my mind, because there's two that were horrible. And one of them, we made the best of a bad deal. It wasn't anything we could do anything about, which like yours wasn't. But since you said that, when it reminded me, when I was about 11 or 13, we did 2 Florida vacations. I had an aunt at that time that lived in Florida, and so we stayed with her, saved some money. The first trip down, it didn't go. I didn't realize I could get car sick, and I was car sick all the way down there. Now, once we got down there and I got settled in, I had a great time. But the start of the vacation was horrible. And I remember us stopping just inside the Florida line, and my dad took me into this breakfast buffet. And when I smelt that bacon cooking, my dad he put his hand on my mouth because I was right at the buffet. And he's just bull rushing me to the bathroom. And there was this lady cleaning the bathrooms, and she says, "The bathroom is closed." And he said, "Well, lady, you can move and let us get in the toilet, or you can clean it up out of the floor." She said, "Come right on in." So I lost my breakfast, I guess you would say then. I didn't. I wanted to eat so bad, and I got sick, and I couldn't eat nothing. Oh, I was miserable. But while the second trip down, when my middle sister was just a baby, we went to the beach, and she got windburned. Not sunburned, but windburned. And it was not good. It was bad. Not real bad. Not like
No.
the hospital bad, but a baby's going to cry. She was, I forget how old she was, but she was young. I mean, they took all the precautions. They thought they did, but it was bad. And so the baby is crying. I mean, babies are going to cry. They're going to let you know what's going on. The neighbors, the uppity neighbors, called the police on us. And the police come out, knocking on the door, and said, "You got to quiet that kid down." And my aunt went ballistic. I thought she was going to go to jail. She said, "Are you kidding me?"
I blame her. I probably would have.
He said, "Well, it's like a barking dog." When he said that, then my dad got involved. And everybody just unloaded on them, told them what sorry police officers they were, and to tell the neighbor, they better go guard the neighbor because they even said, "Well, your neighbors are complaining about the noise." They said, "Well, you might want to go over and stand guard because we're fixing to go over and give them some noise." Oh, it was ugly. They finally decided, they threatened to take people to jail. And my aunt said, this is what my aunt said, and it's been so many years ago, but she said something to the effect, "You can take me to jail, but I'm telling you what right now, I'm going to give you everything I got on the way." And I mean it. And they decided not to do that and to just move on. But I'll never forget that. It was just the worst thing. Barry says that he placed his wallet on the hood of a vehicle and lost it on vacation.
Oh, no.
I was at the Hunley too, Barry. He said he went to the Hunley Memorial. I was there in South Carolina. He marched through Charleston. I did too, brother. In uniform. Yes, I was there in uniform. I fired the can out. I didn't get to do that and had a great time all the way up to leave. So he had the best and worst there. He said he drove back someplace, and the person found it for me. It was on a motorcycle, so he lost it but got it back. That's pretty cool. And hello, Juan. How are you doing? So that was that one. Now the other one that I want to talk about was we were headed to Pigeon Forge with my wife, one of my sons, 3 grandchildren, and my mother-in-law. And she had a daughter that was not doing good with cancer. but she needed to get away. You know how it is. You just need to get away. And
Yeah.
I'm good, Juan. How are you, brother? And on the way there, we got the phone call that her daughter had died. And they gave
Mm.
me the phone to give her the information. The daughter didn't want to tell her over the. She wanted me to get her off to the side, and not because she just take the phone call right there in the car. We stopped for a restroom break, and I had to tell her. So what I told her is she said I don't want to ruin your vacation. I said don't worry about the vacation. I said what's best for you? What do you want to do? And she said, well, they probably won't even be able to do anything for a couple of days. And I said, that's right. She said, well, maybe I could go on up with you guys. And I said, well, listen, if you want to go up there and we'll just hang out. And then when it's time for the viewing and everything, we'll drive back home. And that's exactly what we did. And God really worked it out, though. It was tough. But my sisters had driven up and we just let her talk. Sometimes you just need to talk. And she
You
kind of
do.
worked through her early grieving with us, and she felt bad about it. We're like, no, 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 that we enjoyed talking with you. We drove back and did the funeral and everything. But you just can't help stuff like that. Things are going to happen. Uh, Juan says
Yeah.
a question: Real Madrid or Barcelona? Soccer fan in the house. I'm going to have to say Real Madrid. Watch it be Barcelona.
Well,
I'm going
he,
Real Madrid. Hey, don't forget, brother, we have a sports show every week. This week, I'm not sure what day it's going to be on. We'll get that posted up. Not sure what day my co-host is off work, but we will talk about those things. We're adding in more sports every week, and we'll talk about that. But that was the two bad ones. The two bad. Now, what's your best vacation, Miss Elizabeth?
oh, that would be in 2019. Um, I took a vacation actually by myself, and first time I'd ever done that. And it was after my husband and I had separated,
Ah,
and it was a gift to myself because he never took vacations. It was either Sarah and I went by ourselves, or we just didn't go anywhere. And so this was my gift to myself, and I went on an Alaskan cruise.
nice.
I, I met some amazing people on that cruise, and they just kind of took me under their wing, and they were like, "Oh no, you're going to stay with us because we're going to show you all the best places to go to." And I'm still friends with them. We talk. We are Facebook friends and everything. And so when they got off the boat to go on, they made sure I was with them. They were like, no, we're getting off the boat here and we're going to go do these activities. If you've not scheduled anything, you're going with us. So it was like, yeah, sure. We ate breakfast together. We ate lunch together. We ate dinner together. I mean, it was just amazing. And there was a couple of things that I had already scheduled that they didn't schedule. I got to see a bear in the water that was like 2 years old. He was trying to catch salmon. I was at a safe distance. I didn't ever feel threatened by the bear. I mean, it was amazing. It was the best vacation, hands down, I've ever had.
So,
If anybody, I'm
yeah.
sorry, if anybody's ever been on a cruise to Alaska, that's where you need to go.
So, did you fly? What was your flight path? Like, did you fly into straight on to like Seattle, or did you go in through Canada that way, or how did you do that?
It was a flight to Vancouver, but I did have a layover in Dallas. Um, but there are direct flights out of Atlanta. Um, that can take you into straight to Vancouver. And so this time I'm going with some friends that's never been to Alaska. And so I'm going again. We're leaving on the 8th, and we're going to spend a couple of days in Vancouver and explore before our cruise leaves on the 10th. And so, because I only had like just a little bit of time beforehand to explore just a little bit of Vancouver, like 4 hours. And so we thought we would go a little early this time and spend 2 days to explore some of Vancouver.
Very nice.
And Vancouver is a beautiful place. When I was there before, it was very beautiful. And they have some old sections of Vancouver mixed in with the newer sections of Vancouver. And so we are taking a direct flight from Atlanta all the way into Vancouver.
Very good. Very good. Brosky Bear has brought some news. I have not heard about this, Brosky Bear. There was a mass shooting on a party boat on the Intercoastal in Little River, South Carolina. I have not heard about that.
Oh, me
I've been
either.
very busy today helping my wife, and thank you for updating us. That's horrible news. I hate that. We're in that. It seems like it's intensifying, like we're hearing more and more about mass shootings, people using cars as weapons, and things like that. That's horrible. Pray for those folks, and pray for those Gold Star families today. We didn't make this show specifically about that, but me and Rob will circle back to it. He's a veteran and his dad, and we'll come back, and we're definitely going to acknowledge that and honor that. Just the way it worked out, not tonight, but pray for the Gold Star families, and we certainly salute the military. And we now have the Space Force, so that's cool. Best vacation for me, and it may not sound like, because I don't know what makes the best for somebody. Now, some people think it's action and going and doing. I got to be honest with you, I've never really, yes, sir, Brosky. I never really, I've been into the whole go. I did that with the kids when they were young. And I thought, what are we doing? I mean, I would go do the go-karts and we'd go see the sights and stuff. But I learned very quickly that I needed just some time to do those things, but then go away and do just very cheap things like just family time, sit around a campfire or a fireplace or grilling out on the back deck. So one year we had done the hotel thing to death. And one year I said, let's get a cabin. And we got this cabin, and had quite a few of us there. And maybe it's certainly any Christian could understand this. But maybe it's a preacher thing for me. I don't know. But to give you a little backstory, just real quick, why this was special was I had read the journal for Rachel Scott. Now, if you don't know who Rachel Scott is or was, Rachel Scott was one of the young ladies who was slain at Columbine, talking about mass shootings. I didn't plan on covering this, but now that I think about it, what a tie-in. Anyway, her journal was a blessing to me. And I've got to get back to it. I've done it for years, but I'm in a gap right now. I'll do that. I'll go through a gap and I'll go back. But she wrote she had a journal that she wrote, love letters to God. Oh my God. Prayers, love letters. Just, I love you. Just praising God and her Savior. And anyway, I had read this book that her mom finished after her death. It's an amazing book. Maybe we might do a show just about Columbine and about that book. Amazing. Anyway, I'd started journaling. And I went out very early in the morning. I was having a great time up in the woods anyway, up on the hillside. And I went out and I was writing in my journal up on the hillside. The sun hadn't even all the way came up yet. And it's really kind of hard to describe. I was up there by myself, the family's still sleeping in. And I went out there and I was just walking, and I walked to this point where I was in between the hill that I was on and the next hill. And I was standing in front of this tree that had this really interesting fork in it. And I was thinking about things in my life, changes in my life, how you take one road, and it's a good road, you take another road, it's a bad road. We have decisions to make. And I was sitting there, and I was really trying to think about some decisions that I felt like God wanted me to do, but I wasn't like sure. And I was praying about it. I had my journal with me. I walked out with it, my Bible, and I'm praying up here on this hillside. And I'm looking up into the heavens, and I'm praying, looking up. I have my eyes closed, but I'm praying. It's a beautiful setting. And the exact moment that I'm praying to God about this, the sun breaks over the next hill, shines right through that forked tree right on my face. And I will never forget, that moment was just special to me. And I will never forget that. It was just amazing for me, the spiritual moment that I had. And what's odd about it is I got back, I was telling my wife about it, but I got back to the cabin and I journaled all weekend. They had a journal in the cabin where guests could leave their thoughts. The two journals were the exact same book. When I went home, I accidentally took their book instead of mine. So I contacted the people that own the cabin, and I said, I need to get this in the mail to you pronto, quickest ship I can get. I am so sorry. And she said, it's not a problem. Thank you for doing that. Here's the address. She said, you will laugh at how often this has happened if I told you. She said, people like to read through all the things that other people have left, and they'll write in it, and they end up and they're packing up. They think it's something of theirs, and they'll pack it up and take off. She said, this journal has been all around the country. So it was kind of an interesting thing, and we had a great time, great family time, and it was just awesome. Barry says, I think a train ride across Canada would be a neat thing to do, and then do the cruise. He also said, I heard about the shooting, but I didn't realize it was on a riverboat. So Barry checking in. But yeah, that was my best. Like, it was relaxing. It was family. It was spiritual. It was like I've walked away from there feeling like I had clarity about some decisions. It was just really neat. And also, but while we were there that weekend, it was Halloween weekend. It was this thing is weird. Like, so many things were going on. And on Halloween night, there was a church that had a field down below us, down the mountain. And they put on like a scary thing out for all these people to come through. So that night, all we're hearing is people hollering and screaming, and we didn't even know what was going on. We never saw the sign. So the ladies are getting scared, like, what's going on down there? And so we kind of looked it up and figured out that there was this church thing going on. But anyway, that night, my son comes running into because we're already kind of keyed up, all this screaming and hollering, and you can hear people hollering, screaming bloody murder and all this stuff. So we had went to bed, and my son comes running in, and he's hollering for me like something bad's happened. And he said, my sister got hit by a bat. And in my head, one of these crazy people had walked up there and had hit my sister with a ball bat. And I'm like, my God, like, what do you mean she got hit by a bat? Who hit her with a bat? He goes, no, Dad. A living bat, a flying bat. It flew up and it hit her, and it latched onto her shirt. And she screamed.
Oh, no.
She screamed, and her husband thought she was being attacked. It was a bat. She's slapping at the bat. So it was like this really spiritual, really cool weekend mixed in with some crazy. That was my favorite. I really had a good time with that. Oh my gosh, we still talk about that. We still talk about it. But it was the best of times, maybe the worst of times, not the
worst of times.
But I have heard of people going on vacation while everybody else is having fun. Somebody gets the virus, and they have to just sleep in a room by the sick the whole time everybody else
Yes.
is having fun. That has to be the most horrible thing. Or
Yeah.
somebody gets injured or sick and has to go in the hospital while you're hundreds of miles away from home.
Yeah. That would be horrible.
And I've known
Well,
of
that
people
happened to
that's
my
happened to.
mother.
Oh, really?
It did. Her and my dad and one of my aunts, my dad's sister, they were out west, and they were they were in Colorado, and the change in the atmosphere, like going across the mountains and everything, they were doing all of that, and my mom had a massive heart attack.
Oh, wow.
And because of the change in the atmosphere is what the doctors said. That's what they blamed it on. And she had to be airlifted to one of the major hospitals out there. And so my dad and my aunt drove back across the mountain to the hospital they airlifted her at, because they were in some little rinky-dink town. And so she was in the hospital out there for like a week and a half. And she ended up being stuck there, and my aunt flew back home. My dad was out there with her, and, I told them I would come out, drive them back home. Of course, they said, no, we're fine. And so, yeah, they ended up being gone for like almost a whole month before they could, drive back home.
Oh, my goodness. That's horrible.
Yeah.
That is absolutely horrible. I had a friend, his mom and dad, they like to take a trip down to St. Simons once or twice a year. And his dad got sick and was in the hospital for a while. He was bad off. Got better, though. It took a while. But was in the Brunswick Hospital, obviously, that being the closest, biggest city. And I forget what was going on, but things can happen really quick, and you just don't know.
Yeah.
And so, you do the best you can when you go and stuff like that, but you don't know what's going to happen. Now, I had some friends that were on vacation in I forget what state they were in, and they were in a hotel. How about this one, Elizabeth? The fire alarm goes off. They're in one of the top floors. You can't use the elevator.
Oh.
So they come down over 20 flights to the ground. Everybody's outside in their nightgowns and everything else, because they had to. They were telling everybody to get out, get out, get out. They cleared it. They went back up. So they don't know what it was, but everything was fine. 20 minutes later, after they got back up anyway, it did it again. They came back down 20-something flights. They'd been down and up and down again. They cleared it again. They went back up. And about an hour later, it went off again. They said, to heck with it. So they said, if there's a fire, we'll just fight it. I'm trying to fight the stairs.
Exactly.
But they evacuated the hotel. Well, it would have been 3 times, but they only did 2. It was there was a fault in the system somewhere, and but yeah, they were on vacation. So, can you imagine going down 2 o'clock in the morning? Can you imagine going down 20-something flights and back up and back down and back up all within like an hour and a half at the most?
No.
Oh my gosh! The third time,
I think I would have asked for a refund.
I think so. I don't think
I want a refund and I'm going to a new hotel.
Oh my goodness! Or I'm thinking of the Vacation movie. I've never had this happen, but some people have went to attractions and like they were, John Candy saying there, sorry folks, park's closed. I have known of people,
Yeah.
and the place they were going to was closed for remodeling.
Yes.
That
Yes.
that also stinks because you're all geared up to go see this attraction and it's closed, and the kids are all like, "We
Oh,
want to
I
do
would be so
our ride," I've seen that before
Yeah.
too. Or
Well, I
you
have
have major car trouble and you use all your funds trying to fix your car. That would stink too.
yes, yes. Well, I have to tell you about this vacation because it was kind of a good and bad situation too. When I was in the fifth grade, it was like school started after when I was still in elementary school. School started after Labor Day, and in September, my mom said, "Hey, we got a vacation scheduled for the Bahamas. We won this vacation." So the teacher, and I'll never forget the teacher, it was Miss Callahan. She said, "Okay, well, here's what she's got to do. You can take it, and as long as she has it done when y'all come back, you can, that's fine." And so while we were there, I don't know, do you remember the Challenger blowing up?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Remember that.
Yes. And you remember that teacher that was on there, Krista McCullough.
Yes.
Just so happened when we were there and we were down on the beach, we met her and her husband.
Really?
We did. And she was telling my mom and my dad all about, her getting to go on the Challenger and everything. And so, that I consider that, a great vacation. But then my dad got closer to the end, he got sick. And so, we had to have one of the doctors there on the island come and see him at the little condo we were staying at. But we sure did. We got to meet her and her husband.
That's incredible. I didn't know that.
I know.
So
I thought that was just amazing.
how far before the disaster was that when you met her?
Not super. I mean, not very far in front of where the Challenger. I think that was one of the last vacations she got to take.
Amazing. I have a friend. I'll say real quick. He was an engineer in Florida during the time, and long story short, and I couldn't tell it as good as him, but he didn't believe they would launch that thing. And he stepped out to go to work and he saw it launching. And well, sometimes folks, you just have to say what people said, so you'll forgive me for the language. But he said his exact words was, "The bastards have done it." And he said,
Oh, wow.
He knew that, well, from everything that engineers had told him, they shouldn't launch that thing in that weather. And it was just horrible, just horrible. Barry says that they used to go to Epworth by the Sea, located at St. Simon's. It was a Christian retreat. I don't know if I've heard it. I think I have. I'm not sure, Barry, but that sounds like a cool thing. Miss Jen says, I got a bad one. We went to Helen for my birthday, and the day we was leaving, elevator was broke, and Mom had to use stairs and fell. I was so upset.
Oh.
And they didn't offer nothing of a discount or anything. He was like, "You want me to call an ambulance?" "No, I want you to come help me get her up and help down the stairs." No sorry or anything. Oh, not good. Not good.
No.
I have never
Y'all should
been
have
to Helen.
consulted a lawyer.
Yeah, I have never been to Helen, Georgia. Believe it or not,
Really?
I've never been there. I've been all over
You
the
really
state.
aren't missing a whole lot.
Well, I've heard that. overpriced, crowded. I have seen video of people getting like rooms there right by the river creek, whatever it is, and it looks peaceful and fun and everything. Miss Jenna says it's nice. Well, I'm sure there's a lot of things to do there, but I think one of the big things people like to do there is go there and drink. So usually I hear about people going there and partying. So I'm not saying Miss Jen did or Mom. She said, but just
especially in October.
Yeah, don't go to Oktoberfest or it's.
No. Yeah, that's what. Yeah. Yes, and I only know that because before I knew that's what it was, I went up there one time. My family and I did because my daddy didn't know that's what it was, and this is when I was still younger. Because my daddy was a preacher. And he didn't know. And he said, "Well, this Oktoberfest sounds pretty neat. Let's go see what it's about." Well, we went. Woo, he said, "Oh, no, we're going somewhere else."
I bet y'all were like, what's this?
Yes, he saw all those tents and all that beer. He just kept on driving. We didn't even stop.
We'll find us a small town outside of town.
Yes.
Well,
I think we went on the Pigeon Forge or something. I don't know.
In that area, you can go 30 miles about any direction and run into a little town.
Yes.
There are a bunch of little towns like that. They're all about 30 miles from each other in that area. So I don't blame him.
And a lot of them have festivals too.
I would love to see the look on his face as he kind of rode into town like, what's this? And then sees everybody with beer steins and everything.
Ooh, and I mean, they had big tents set up, huge ones. It was like, Daddy, I don't think that this is where we need to be.
I'll tell my wife.
It was quite funny.
Because it's well known, and we won't. We were on a vacation, but we did some vacation type stuff. We were on a mission trip to Mexico, and we're in a church van. We're actually headed to a tourist thing. It was a day to do some. We did. I think we were going to do ministry that evening, but that morning was all about going to the pyramids. There's several locations. This was Texcoco, I think, or something like that. Anyway, we're going through an intersection, and the missions leader turns back and says, everybody put their heads down and close their eyes. And so we did. We rolled through, and me and my wife were not sitting together. She'd gotten on first, and I come in later, which she gave me a hard time about, like I abandoned her, so she was. But anyway, she said, when we got back together, and she said, those people didn't have any clothes on. And I said, what do you mean they didn't have any clothes on? I said, by the way, you were supposed to put your head down and close your eyes. She said, I couldn't help myself. I was tempted. She said, David, I was tempted. I wanted, and I looked, and I saw these men. They were standing there, and they had no clothes on. I'm like, what?
That's funny.
So I looked it up when I got to the place we were going. I looked it up, and I talked to some people about it. And of all things, it was bicyclists. They were protesting the fact they didn't have bike lanes in Mexico City. So they decided to do a naked protest with their bicycles at major intersections in the city. And it was men and women, and they had no clothes on. I can't say I saw it because I closed my eyes and bowed my head. But my wife looked.
I looked too. I don't want to know what was going on.
Whenever you tell somebody, don't look, it's the hardest. If nobody ever said anything, you probably wouldn't even notice it. But because somebody said, don't look.
Exactly. They're going to look. Well, listen, my mom and daddy and two of my older sisters, which they were still living at home at this point, and my my older brother. He's 5 years older than me.
Yeah.
But I didn't get to go. I had to stay home with one of my older sisters because I was still young. They went to Mexico one time, and they were going on vacation, but they told them not to take me because it was dangerous for them to take me.
Yeah.
They said.
Yeah.
And somebody in Mexico offered my daddy some donkeys to buy my sisters.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I believe
They
he'd
said, "You
been
want to sell?"
picking himself up off the ground. Get out of my
My daddy said no.
Wow. The scariest
Yeah.
thing, the most dangerous thing that happened while we were there was the driving. When we left the airport and we were headed to the hotel, we took, let's just say they weren't a recognized cab service because they weren't available, and somebody named Julio was. He had to take out his massive speakers and tie them to the top of the Suburban. He called his friends. They came up.
Oh no.
They drove so crazy all the way to driving in head-on traffic and everything. My wife looks at me and says, "We're going to die." She wasn't joking. I said, "It'll be okay." I'm talking with a hard voice because I'm scared too. I'm like, "It'll be okay. They kind of do this. They know what they're doing." And I'm looking the other way going, "Oh my gosh, I don't want her to see the fear in my face." These people were crazy. You look like something out of a movie. Like some kind of stunt driver or something, you know? But
that time I went, they drive like that in Vancouver. I mean, they just zoom, 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 zoom. I mean, because I took a taxi. Well, it may not have been a taxi. It may have been an Uber. I took something like that from the first time I went from the airport to the hotel. And oh my gosh, I feared for my life. I mean, it's like 34 miles from the airport to the hotels down next to the pier. I swear to you, he made it in like 15 minutes. I was like, oh, good heavens. Jesus, protect me. I was praying the whole way. I had my seatbelt on, and I was in the back seat, and I was still slung from here to yonder.
Barry says he's been to Helen about 4 or 5 times. They did a reenactment there where they fired a mountain howitzer. How nice. They have a water slide, but if you have tube down the river, kids will jump in the river in front of you and splash you. So he's been to Helen 4 or 5 times. I've not been there. I'll have to make that trail. Well,
now floating down the river sounds nice.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that. Lazy Daisy, no heavy rapids, just lazy, float along.
Yeah.
Pack you a little bit of food to have, little snacks, couple of drinks, and make a day of it. I've done that on the Broad River down near Athens, but it was canoes. It wasn't tubes, but that would be cool. They did that on the Chattahoochee. They get the tubes out and float down the Chattahoochee. Miss Jenna says she's done it once.
There's songs about that.
Nice. Well, folks, I know we're going to cut it short, and me and Miss Elizabeth already talked about this. We're not going to go the full 2 hours tonight, so sorry. We'll make it up to you. I will be back on. I'm doing another show at 10, and we're going to let her finish her drive. Since Rob's not here, we just abbreviate the show just a little bit. And we will reconvene next Monday, Lord willing, and we'll catch up on all the goings-ons together then. And we'll have many other shows between now and then.
Be driving.
Yeah, maybe Miss Elizabeth won't get out. Well, yeah, she won't even be at school then, so she's going to be at home.
No.
So we appreciate you.
Hallelujah.
We appreciate you doing that. You're sharing your stories. Folks, pray for Dog Tag. Pray for Miss Elizabeth. She arrives at their destination. Pray for Rob. Pray for Pastor Jerry Barrett.
Subdivision now.
Yeah, Jerry Barrett's in the hospital. Pray for him. He's in Emory. and pray for just pray for our nation. Pray for our nation. We appreciate all your support you're giving. We're 1 year old today as a podcast, and you ain't seen nothing yet. We are going to see bunches of stuff, and there's a lot of things on the drawing board, and we're trying to update, and we're going to let you get in bed early tonight, Miss Elizabeth, if you can get home.
I just pulled in the subdivision.
She's in the subdivision, so she's in the home stretch. And she's she doesn't have to come on here and deal with me. She's going to get to rest, and she deserves it. Thanks, everybody. We'll drop down.
I love being on here.
Y'all
just don't know how much I love it.
You have made this show. Me and Rob. Rob said, "I'll be mama." I said, "You can't be mama. Stop it."
He can't. He don't have the right part.
And we have a great chemistry and dynamic. And this and Front Porch is the oldest shows on the podcast. It's the oldest shows that we have. We added everything else afterwards. These are the first two names that we came up with: Mama Said and Front Porch Talking. And then Hump Day was third, and then we went from there. So, but these are the oldest shows, and these are the first ones we talked about before you ever put a video up. Everybody enjoy the rest of your day. If you got to go back to work, understand, and pray for the Gold Star families especially. We'll see you soon. Take care. God bless, and salute. Let me get some music ready, and we'll go a little aggressive. We got to get a little aggressive. We got the Mama Said. You know me. I'm always playing something aggressive, and people say, "Well, it's heavy." I'm like, "Yeah, I need it." All right, here we go. Take care.